So hey everybody, welcome. My name is Jamie Pollock. My company is Royalwise. You can always find us online at royalwise.com. Today's class is our What's New series. Every fall, Apple comes out with new operating systems for everything. And so today is our What's New in macOS Monterey. This is version 12, so it is macOS 12. As far as the numbering goes, of course, we were on operating system 10 for a really long time. It used to be OS X, meaning 10, and then it became Mac OS, and we were at 10.15, 10.16, and then we moved over to 11. So the Big Sur operating system moved us into the 11 realm, and now Monterey is here, and it is version 12. Question that always starts this conversation is, when do I upgrade? Should I upgrade? Of course, what I always advise is if it's the first level of the branch, 12.0, I would normally recommend not upgrading immediately. Wait for them to get some bug fixes and things in place. If you have a high tolerance for bugs and glitches, then hey, jump in there. If there's a feature you just can't live without, I have to have SharePlay, but it's not fully implemented anyway. The thing about Monterey is they launched at 12.0.1 on launch day. So the first day you could get Monterey, they had already incremented up a little bit, but there's still features missing. There's still some glitches and bugs. And again, I recommend once 12.1 comes out is when I'm going to give my students and clients the all clear to move on. With that in mind, this is a What's New class. I'm going to stumble through some things because it's all new. Even I'm learning it as fast as I can, but I don't know all the new features and I'm learning them. And as I said, some of them have been announced but not implemented yet. And so I'm going to talk about some of these, but I can't show them or demo them. But at least we'll know what's coming. Of course, last week I did my iOS 15 class, and later today I'm doing my iPad OS 15 class. And a lot of these features are really cool this time, are across all the platforms. And so we're going to be talking, as we go over the features, which ones really should be on all devices, even though they're implemented differently. And then I'll try to show you how it's implemented in Monterey specifically. And of course, my disclaimer is like some of it isn't there yet. So they've told us what to expect, and I will look for it and it won't be there. So what? It'll be fun. So let me get in here. Here's the new look. This is what Monterey looks like, a new color scheme for the background. I'm going to go here to About This Mac and pull this up so we can see the macOS Monterey. And as I said, we are version 12.01. Again, I went to the Apple menu and just said About This Mac. Anytime you want to know what operating system you're running and or your processor, memory, or all the rest of the information about your machine, that's where we can go to find out that information. So the first thing we're going to talk about is FaceTime. And so I'm going to open up my FaceTime app. There we go. Now you actually get to see behind the curtain where I really am without the fake background. That's super fun. One of the big things that has come to all the devices is called SharePlay. This is really kind of a cool feature. I think it kind of came out of COVID, of us all being stuck in our homes for a year. But the idea is that we can pull up let's say a TV show or a movie in Apple TV Plus, or even in Disney Plus or Hulu or wherever. And as we FaceTime with people, we can share that content and watch it together at the same time. With that going, now that we said, hey, let's start a movie and watch it, people could be across the country, they could be across the world, as long as they're on the internet and they have Wi-Fi and FaceTime. You connect through FaceTime. You can now have up to, I think, 30 people in a FaceTime session. A couple of cool things that they've added is a grid view, floating blocks of people. So when you're in a multi-person session in FaceTime, you actually kind of float around and see multiple people kind of in a semi-grid. And the people that speak get a little bit bigger, and the people that aren't speaking get a little bit smaller, and people come and go and go into the background a little bit. Also, portrait mode versus landscape mode is something else that they've implemented in FaceTime. Granted, you're not going to turn your computer, but with the iPhones and the iPads, you would. So what this is you can watch together. I tested this last night with my daughter, and one of the tricks is that you all need to be on either iOS 15 or Monterey, or the feature isn't there. Also, the share play is not implemented in Monterey yet, so we're not seeing that option inside of Monterey, but it is working for iOS 15 and iPad OS 15. Basically, if you're in FaceTime and you are connected with some people within FaceTime, then you go to TV and start a movie or a show. It will ask, do you want to just start this for yourself, or do you want to start it for your FaceTime group, for the people that you're inside of FaceTime with? Everybody that is in the FaceTime session will get a pop-up that says so-and-so is starting this media. Do you want to join in? And if they say yes, then everybody has the same playback. Very cool stuff about this is if I pause, it pauses it for everybody. If somebody else can control it, they can pause and it pauses for everybody. While the video is playing, especially on the iPhones and the iPads, you actually have like a floating window of the media and then floating pictures of everybody that's in the session. You can still talk to people in FaceTime while you're watching the movie. You can pull up the text messaging and text back and forth while you're watching the movie. So it's creating kind of this virtual space for you and everybody else to still be together, even though you're not in the same building or in the same room. So it actually was kind of fun. We tried to demo it in the iOS 15 class, and it didn't quite work as well as we had hoped. And as I said, it's not implemented in Monterey yet. I'm just not seeing the button. But I'm going to see if I can FaceTime with Mr. Jeff right now, see if he's out there and available. Also, we'll see how the Zoom and the FaceTime compete for the camera. Hey, Mr. Jeff, how are you, sir?
Doing very well.
Excellent. Did you know you're going to be on camera today? Did you know?
Didn't know.
Had a feeling. Oh, you're looking fine. You're looking fine. So now that I'm in FaceTime with Jeff, I want to kind of point out that along the bottom here, you know, we've got our buttons as far as cancel the call, turn my video on or off, turn my audio on or off, and then open the sidebar so I can kind of see some of the stuff going on. I want to share a link or things like that. This little run of buttons is where we would see that share play. It's a little icon that looks like a little screen. And so it's going to be in that little toolbar area once it's fully implemented. So just know that. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. See you later. So a very cool concept and very neat. And if you've got an iPhone or an iPad running iOS 15, iPad OS 15, then you can test it out there. If anybody wants to play around with it, let me know. I'm playing around with it and trying to learn as much about it as I can. So let's just run through the other share play options just so you can kind of hear about them. Watch together. Listen together as far as music goes. Share your screen. This is brand new for mobile devices. We've never been able to share an iPhone screen or an iPad screen as far as like remotely goes. So that's kind of cool. But even having that for the Mac is a great thing that we can now share our screen through FaceTime. Synced playback is what I was talking about, where everybody sees the playback at the same time. Shared music cues, smart volume, where it's not going to be super loud in one place and really quiet in another. Multiple device support. And then, of course, you can connect through audio, video, and text while you're share playing content. And so that really brings the share concept in, that you're sharing the media, but you're also sharing your opinion or sharing your, discussion about it, or you can actually like be in the moment with people. Really great stuff. A couple other things coming to all the devices, but it will be coming to FaceTime on the Macs, is spatial audio, is sound coming from direction. So spatial audio. You'll see this. There's some examples in the music app where they're like specific. The recording has to have this built in. It's just not anything can sound like spatial audio. If you have AirPod Pros or AirPods, they're working with that a little bit, where if you stand up and walk away from your computer or iPad, it sounds like the sound's coming from where the iPad is and where the iPhone is, kind of thing. But it's becoming more where now you've got surround sound, where you actually, the audio sounds like it's coming from behind you. It sounds like it's coming in front of you. And they say if you use AirPod Pros with an Apple TV, that spatial audio is going to be coming into play too. So if you're watching a movie or watching a TV show through Apple TV with your AirPods in, you actually can get surround sound spatial audio going on. Voice isolation mode, so it doesn't catch the background sounds, isolating the voice. Also, wide spectrum mode is a new thing where it's going to capture more sound, a wider spectrum of sound. And they say this is great for music lessons. You know, we've always struggled in Zoom with trying to like play music with other people and or, you know, hearing the subtlety of certain things. Does that cut the mic off or leave it on? But wide spectrum mode is coming in. And then another really cool thing for FaceTime that I'm excited about is invite cross-platform, is that you can now start a FaceTime and invite non-Apple people into it. Send them a link. If they approve or say, yeah, I want to join this, it's going to pop them up into a web browser. And so there's now a web browser enabled version of FaceTime that non-Apple users can use. So if they're on an Apple device, it's just going to kind of happen the normal way in FaceTime app. But if they are not on an Apple device, it will push them into a web version of it and they can still play along and do FaceTime. So super excited about that. I think that stuff is really super cool. My name is Jamie Pollock. Of course, my company is Royalwise. Come visit us at royalwise.com. Come and take some more classes. Subscribe. If you're on Facebook, join my Royalwise Apple community group where I actually post throughout the week the different things that I'm coming across. YouTube, we actually put out class previews now. The first 5 to 10 minutes of almost every class I do is out on YouTube, so you can kind of taste, get a sampling of the class and see, do I want to take the whole class or not? Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see our new videos. I'm putting tips and tricks up there now these days too. With that, Jamie Pollock with Royalwise, and I'll see you guys in the next class.